Who's going to make all the money and retain it and not go to prison? It will be this generation of investors. There's 300 of the Fortune 500 companies that are literally looking at putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
Correct.
It's the apex predator, dude. You go, Lynn, I will steal the apex predator from you and pay you whatever the fuck you need.
Language, brother.
Okay, I'll rip that beautiful thing out of your hands and I'll have the apex predator.
Let's go.
Like, there's only one.
Yeah.
The vast majority of billionaires aren't even here yet.
We're here at Bitcoin Day 25, and I'm here with someone who's become one of the most fascinating voices in Bitcoin today. Grant Cardone has built and sold companies across energy, fintech, and payments for nearly 4 decades. From natural gas trading floors to Bitcoin conferences, Gary's journey shows what happens when old school entrepreneur discovers the apex predator of assets. Welcome.
I like that. The apex predator of assets.
Those are your words, brother. I like them too.
I like it.
You once said that Bitcoin is like having a 27-year-old redhead
Get in trouble.
that you marry, loyal, never degrades, gets more beautiful with time. That's quite the analogy. How did your wife feel about that?
Well, I didn't have a wife at the time. Don't have a wife when I said that. I do believe that it's the analogy is, look, it doesn't degrade. The analogy I was trying to make was if you were, an adult man and you met the perfect redhead or blonde or brunette, whatever you like, and she never degraded, she never changed, she never mutated, she consistently grew in value. She didn't even mind if every now and then you shaved off a little bit and sold it. She wouldn't feel offended. She doesn't require maintenance on a roof or plumbing. She doesn't have monthly cycles. Now, every now and then, she's very violent. Okay,
Every now and then.
But she's violent. She's exciting, and her return is awesome. Would you get married to that? Or would you go look around for something better?
It's hard to argue with that.
Exactly. That's why I use this very, very simple analogy, right?
I like that.
Because it's finite. I can only handle so many of these redheads at one time.
Well, if you need help, let me know. You sold everything for Bitcoin, right? Real estate businesses generating $70 million annually. Yeah. There had to be a moment, right? Maybe at 3 a.m. in the morning where you asked yourself, what the hell am I doing here?
Well, I didn't really didn't have that thought, but look, I've been doing business so long. It's a little bit like of a hunter or a hunter probably is a good word for it, right?
It's an apex hunter going after the apex asset.
Yes. And when you see the King Kong, when your thesis, somebody made a comment, they said, dude, your conviction is crazy. Since I only came in 2020, but I think it was the energy background, the understanding of how markets actually are disrupted violently. If you actually know what you're doing, you can really disrupt a lot of markets. Mm-hmm. And then going into payments, I saw all the plumbing problems under Visa, MasterCard, and the banks. There are massive when I say plumbing problems, it's literally cars trying to get on and off a highway, and cars aren't even being allowed to get on. And it's very expensive, and one merchant has to pay something different than another merchant. That's not a market. That's a very discriminatory, bizarre, no standard market.
Right.
You have 52 million merchants that have different terms and conditions that no one can even read anymore. Yet all our regulators say all our terms and conditions should be concise and clear. Yet none. Who read? So none of these. Like, I just looked at that, and my conviction was, oh my God, our current system is broken. It's no longer able to live up to where we're headed, which is a digital world, right? Like all the music and videos on my phone today weren't there 20 years ago. So we have different tools. The tools of yesteryear are not going to work in the tools of tomorrow.
Right.
There's going to be a day when I'm not allowed on the highway, man, because the robots are on the highway, and I will be the variable. I will be the problem.
Well, yeah, right. Especially if you want to have an autonomous vehicle, right? You might be able to get in a self-driving car, right? But if you want to have a diesel-fueled,
Well, in order for these big markets to work, there has to be standards. You can't have you and I have different set of rules, and we play them by a different set of rules. So this standard, Bitcoin is what I call a North Star. See, you asked me, hey, why did you come in so heavy? I realized once I saw a North Star with a fixed supply of fixed supply
Right.
and a fixed supply that had 90% of it had been pushed into the market, issued into the market early at very cheap prices. So it creates a psychological behavior. It's when you see a construct like this and you keep trying to punch the thesis down and make it wrong, I can only come in heavy because I cannot find an area that I can push against that makes no sense to me.
I love that. So with that conviction, when you sit down with your brother, do you have these kinds of conversations? Does he? No. Okay.
I can't talk to him the way I may talk to a Bitcoiner.
Okay.
He's going to look at me. Look, my whole life has been taking speculative risk like this. My brother is an extremely conservative human being. Okay, I don't know. He might have even told you that.
Yeah.
He will tell you, hey, bro, I ain't wasting my tennis shoes on a guess.
Yeah. Right.
Right. He just doesn't do that. Now, me, I look at it and go, wow, tennis shoes are going to be a big thing. I'm going to get in the tennis shoe business a little early. But it's just a different psychology and
it is
people approach this. It doesn't make anyone right or wrong.
Right. And to be fair, he is in the industry that he knows, right? Real estate is the oldest game in town, right? It is another asset that can't be inflated necessarily, although there's a lot of land that's undeveloped. But he did say, to be fair, he said that at the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas, during our interview, he said that he's a coward investor.
Yep.
Right? Because he won't buy more Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin, right? He'd rather have this real estate structure where he uses that Bitcoin to buy more real estate. And that's getting the best of both worlds in a way, right? So I'm thinking that's a brilliant way to go about that. But he essentially said that he was worried about getting rugged. He literally said that at the Bitcoin conference, right? So he said that, he's concerned that there's just too much hype and there's not enough concern, in the industry right now. So what do you think? What are your comments on that?
Well, I think my brother, you have to put a vintage on when people came in. My brother's, that comment shows where he is in his education. If he would have seen the hubris I would have seen 6 years ago at the Bitcoin Miami show before Sam Bankman-Fried imploded,
right?
Like a cheap suit on a rainy day. I saw fucking super yachts everywhere with a bunch of chicks on them and people with $12 of tokens acting like they're ballers. Okay.
Right.
Like, by the way, that is not happening
right
today. See, my brother has no perspective on that. I see no hubris here. I see no enthusiasm. In fact, I see only boredom right now. I think the old Bitcoin community is getting ready to get run over. That's going to get run over. Like, I don't think you guys fully understand what's happening here. Okay, this should get really boring. There should be less hubris, and that's when this market's going to run. Okay, there's not any of this insanity. Google doesn't even Bitcoin doesn't show up on Google search. There is no. I don't see anybody balling around right now. Okay, I actually see the old time Bitcoiners going, man, I wonder if people like Cardone actually had this right. You just heard me argue. Somebody said, wow, 107's toppy, man. I'm like, what's your average cost? $7,500. Well, they stopped buying Bitcoin. Huge error.
Yeah.
This was a huge error. Okay. If you had $30 Bitcoin, you should have still been buying Bitcoin today.
Right.
The average price doesn't stay at $30.
Correct.
It's the apex predator, dude. You go all in. I will steal the apex predator from you and pay you whatever the fuck
Speak
you
of my
need.
language, brother.
Okay. I'll rip that beautiful thing out of your hands and I'll have the apex predator.
Let's go.
There's only one apex
I love it.
predator.
Yeah.
And that's why Saylor's getting so jacked because he understands. He's a very smart guy.
Right.
He understands physics.
Yes. Correct. That is an immutable factor that is unique to Bitcoin, that it is truly scarce. And to wrap your mind around that, in a world of constant inflation, right? Ever since we departed from the gold standard, we've just been living in this inflationary world, and through Keynesian school, we have normalized it. But that's the opposite of the natural cycle, right? Natural way of things is deflationary. And so we're seeing our chance here for me personally, it's a chance of a lifetime, for me to have multi-generational wealth, to work hard and not squander my life's energy, to pass it on to my children. And that's something you said also. You said you'd rather leave Bitcoin for your daughter and your kids than a ranch or money, right? You rather leave them with the most scarce asset in existence. And I applaud you for that, brother. But Grant, your brother did say an interesting thing that really made me think. He said that there's a scarcity of work ethic in all throughout our culture right now. And he says that work ethic is more scarce than Bitcoin, right? And I thought, wow, that's quite the hot take, man. But I do agree with that notion, right? What is Bitcoin? It is a finite asset. It is the most truly scarce commodity in existence. But how do you get access? How do you acquire that asset? It's through providing value to the market, right? You're not just going to get someone to give up their Bitcoin by half-assing something. And that's where I think work ethic goes hand in hand with the Bitcoin motto, right? If you want to acquire, I'm being told to quiet down, getting passionate over here, But that's where I agree with his sentiment. He's saying that work ethic is the most scarce thing right now. And, you've been telling people, just buy Bitcoin and hold, right? Is that turning people into speculators instead of the hustlers that your brother's preaching, about, the 10Xers, right? Or are you, like Michael Saylor, aware enough where it's like, dude, you don't got to be Warren Buffett over here, right? You just got to buy this apex predator asset and hold, and you'll be fine, right? Or can you have a best of both worlds scenario?
Well, look, I don't think anyone's going to accuse Michael Saylor of being lazy or anyone on his team. So he's working probably harder than most.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think the truth is, the creativity and ability, imagination of a human being is, in fact, the most extreme, rare thing on planet Earth. I think each individual in their own, I am one of one. I may be a twin, but I am one of one, not one of 21 million, not one of 8 billion. I am one of one. I'm never going to be replicated. Y'all might confuse me with my brother, but we're completely different entities, which gives me a very good perspective on, oh wow, we're all one of one. Mm-hmm. So I would say the one of oneness is more important than what we do or don't do. Mm-hmm. I do agree with Grant that we have a lack of work ethic. The truth is that maybe we are exactly where we've always been, with a 90-10, 95-5 rule, where 5% to 10% of the world gets more than the rest because that 10% did more. Mm-hmm. I don't know a bunch of lazy rich people. I do not know a bunch of lazy rich people that are happy. Right. In fact, I know no lazy rich people that are happy.
Right. They're self-destructive.
I can't fix the whole world. I can only fix myself. And I just need to, when I'm creating and producing, I'm very happy, with or without Bitcoin.
Yes.
I never said buy Bitcoin and do nothing. I said buy Bitcoin and don't sell it. Mm-hmm. Keep working, create some more. Mm-hmm. Mine, like they're talking about mining Bitcoin. Don't mine Bitcoin. That's dumb, and super dumb. Okay.
That's a hot take.
First, mine fiat. It's easier to mine fiat. It's cheaper to mine fiat, and then you convert that fiat into Bitcoin.
Okay.
That's my, like, as long as I can still buy it here.
I think that's good advice for the the everyday investor, right? But
and just one other thing, okay? Like, to Grant's point, get a job in the Bitcoin industry. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're not in a position where you can buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin today. You can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin and get a job. I just hired this lady. Like, there's plenty of jobs. This is an industry. It's not a coin.
Amen. Yes, sir. That resonates, and I couldn't agree more with this idea that holding requires you to persevere, right? Perseverance is
people hold their house,
right? And
it doesn't feel like a pain,
right?
It's not enslavement that you're holding on to an investment. You hold on to your house. In fact, you have to fix the plumbing. You have to clean the roof. People hold on to stuff all the time.
Right. You got to maintain and you got to continue to provide, and that is I think the Bitcoin as a long, storage, is a savings account, right? Long-term savings account is the right approach. But, I do just want to point out, Grant said that, Michael Saylor, of course, he's doing a lot of great work. His speech at the conference was incredible. And what he's done to orange pill institutions is, has essentially, I think, brought America back into this race, right? It's positioned us. But Grant did say, where's the product? They're essentially Bitcoin treasury companies. And he's got, tenants, right? Grant's got tenants paying rent and real cash flow, something tangible, right? So what do you say to someone who looks at MicroStrategy and asks, what do they actually make besides PowerPoint presentations about Bitcoin?
Well, I hope my brother didn't say that, because Michael Saylor actually helped him get into space.
He did mention that. Yes.
Well, I think he's ignorant then, because
So,
it's a lot.
sorry.
Well, hang tight though. I think it's look. He's created a $60 billion enterprise, a $60 billion enterprise, tremendous shareholder value, and he had a company that was the gravity of that company was for his shareholders. It's well beyond PowerPoints. Right. Okay,
right.
Cleaned up his cap table, so there's no difference in Grant's business that generates distributions that gets converted to Bitcoin than what Saylor's doing. He has income. So maybe you misunderstood it, or maybe I did. He said it, but I don't think.
Just to give some context,
this thing that legacy players do, though. Mm-hmm. Hey, what does he do? This is a very competitive response. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a net zero sum human emotion mm-hmm. response. I don't even know why anyone would say that unless it's ignorance, because if you really understood Bitcoin, actually putting Bitcoin on your balance sheet is doing something. Okay, let's think about that. Grant's putting real estate that requires unmitigated risk into the future for 20 years. Don't know what the taxes are going to be. Don't know if you get hit by a meteor. Don't know if you get hit by a massive flood. If your insurance companies go bankrupt, if the market changes around you, if you get some politician in there that's a scourge on earth. Like me buying Bitcoin and holding it as a piece of real estate. I've known people that hold a piece of real estate for 30 years and then they sell it for $8 trillion. Was that a bad deal? Putting a unique asset class on your balance sheet and just chilling out?
Yeah, not at all.
Chilling out's actually probably really, my brother would not know what chilling out is, but chilling out's very, very valuable, because I am now able to do more things. Yeah. I have an investment that doesn't drain my intellectual capital, right? Because I'm walking around responding to emails, right, that don't make any sense whatsoever.
Amen. I think he was more so referencing the other companies trying to replicate what strategy is doing.
Well, so he's saying, let's be clear. There's 300 of the Fortune 500 doing this. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's 300 of the Fortune 500 companies that are literally looking at putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet today. Yeah. Right now, 300 of the top 500. Yeah. If I would have told you that 3 years ago, you would have literally never invited me back here until you realized you were wrong, because it would have sounded so outlandish.
See, yeah.
So my bro's wrong on that, okay? Hey, this strategy is going to help my brother go public. Watch. You interview him in a year, that whole conversation will be.
I'm very interested to see that evolution. To talk to you.
This conversation will be so different in 3 years.
I'm excited to have that before and after comparison. But
by the way, he moved from a 15% allocation to a 50% allocation in 2 months.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah. He told us Saylor said 80-20, brother. 80-20. So, hey,
Saylor called him a PUSSY is what he called it.
What? Is that right? You heard it here, folks.
And I agree. He's going to get in.
I love the brotherly.
But look, everybody comes in. I'm not teasing him. This is what he's do.
The guy
is hard, dude. Yeah, he gravity from a different world that's in billions of dollars.
Right. So from his purview, right, like one of our team members interviewed him because he took the 10X program, right? He became a multimillionaire because of Grant's teachings, right? And so he sat down with him and said, Grant, brother, I want to thank you for all the positive impact you've had on my life, right? And, that was heartfelt, right? And so his message does resonate, that idea of self-accountability.
He'll be a great educator on Bitcoin once he gets it.
Amen. So listen, last question. I could talk to you all day, brother, but I know your time is limited and valuable. So you've met some of the most valuable human beings in Bitcoin, and say the community is what really converted you. But you also call out assholes and say that Bitcoin doesn't fix personality problems, right? So which is it? Are Bitcoiners better people or just better with money?
I haven't met a bunch of Bitcoiners that are better with money. Okay, first off, that's a joke. The first 15 years of people with Bitcoin have not proven that they're great with money. The most money that's ever going to be made and retained in Bitcoin is the next 4 years. That's the thing we should be looking at. Oh wow, who's going to make all the money and retain it and not go to prison?
Mhm.
It will be this generation of investor.
Mm.
Okay, like I say this over and over and over again. I don't think people really understand what I'm talking about. There's more money that has been invested in Bitcoin in the last year and a half than the prior 15 years in collection. The
Wow.
whole 15 years got wiped out.
Puts it
1.5
into
years.
perspective.
This is different money, man.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, once he understands this is a piece of real estate, he won't, these allocations are going to go up. I'm not using my brother. He is one of many, okay? And it just needs, there's 62 million millionaires. There's 340,000 ultra high net worth, $30 million net worth families. And there is 3,500 billionaires worth $4.5 billion each.
Wow.
There's less than a 2% adoption rate of Bitcoin around the world.
Wow.
There might be 16 to 20 billionaires in Bitcoin today. You will know some of those names, but the vast majority of billionaires aren't even here yet. They will easily make $100 to $1 billion investment decisions. It will most certainly not be one Bitcoin. Okay, billionaires don't buy one of anything unless there is only one of them, and then they'll buy it and they'll hold it forever and ever. So this is a unique opportunity in life. People just, the only people that are not, first off, the only people that are going to lose from this are the people that chose not to spend some time reading and just finding out why a crazy guy like me would be all jacked up on a Saturday morning about Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. You said, spend at least 25 minutes doing some research.
Hours.
25 hours.
25 hours. It's a week. Please, you spend 40 hours. You're supposed to spend 40 hours a week working. 25 hours. Right. I can do 25 hours in a weekend.
Yeah, it's less than a Netflix series, right?
So YouTube, a thing on the white paper. Read Jeff's Boost, The Cost of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Read Lawrence Leopard's
The Big Print.
The Big Print. And, when you're done with those, call me up and I'll give you one other book to read and you're good to go. And you will invest in Bitcoin.
I love it, brother. What is the last book? I
can't tell you until you finish the I don't give anybody the tip until they've read all three of them.
Which is The Price of Tomorrow, The Big Print, and what was the other one?
And then watch the white paper on YouTube.
Okay, watch the white paper. I'm going to do that, and then I'll reach back out. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.